We have so many eggs at our house right now, it's absolutely insane. I feel like most people who have chickens kind of go through this thing every year where it's either boom or bust, or maybe you get a little bit in between where in the spring you're just getting tons of eggs. Then maybe for us, once it starts getting really hot, our chickens slow down laying, or in the fall and winter, maybe your chickens slow down. But right now it's spring, so a lot of us are just overwhelmed with the amount of eggs that we have in our house. So I thought I'd share with you today my top 10 favorite ways to use up some of those extra eggs you may have overflowing at your refrigerator and piling up on your countertops. I'm Kelsey from roughandtumblefarmhouse.com, where every single week I share stories about farming, family food, and fortitude here on our 5-acre homestead in northern Minnesota. So, I said in the video kind of picture description here on YouTube that I would tell you how to use up 3 dozen eggs in a single day. Now, that is kind of based on a roughly 5-person family, so if you have more or less, it'll fiddle with that just a little bit, but I'm also going to give you just a bunch of different recipe ideas that you can mix and match, so you could possibly even use up more than 3 dozen eggs in a single day, that's a lot of eggs. So the first recipe I love for using up eggs is flourless chocolate cake. Now, this recipe will use up 10 eggs, which is a ton, and it also uses up a lot of butter. I just will warn you about that. It takes 2 sticks of butter to make this recipe. However, it is totally gluten-free, which is nice. It is so rich and so decadent. It freezes really nicely, so if you make up a whole bunch of these suckers, you can pop some in the freezer and pull one out when company comes and it looks like you made a really fancy dessert, because you kind of did, but it's really not that complicated. I actually have a whole YouTube video about how to make this flourless chocolate cake as well. I will link to that in the description box below, and I will also link to all of the recipes and all of the ideas I'm going to share here in the rest of this video. Number 2 is overnight French toast. This one will use up 6 eggs for a 13x9 pan of French toast. This is really nice because it's one that you make again before you go to bed, so you can have this in advance whipped up. You can use all sorts of different fruits, you can use syrup, you can use honey, you can use sugar as a sweetener. This is one you can really kind of play with, but it is going to suck up 6 of those eggs. Number 3 on the list is something called sunshine cake. Now, this cake is best made in tandem with an angel food cake. Now, I don't personally have an angel food cake recipe that I have shared on the blog, not yet anyway, but so just go and find a good angel food cake recipe, and most of those that I have looked at all call for a dozen egg whites. And then you're left here with a dozen egg yolks. Well, the sunshine cake is the sister to the angel food cake because it uses nothing but egg yolks. So find yourself a good angel food cake recipe, use up all those egg whites, or maybe make like a meringue or something like that using egg whites, and then the sunshine cake will use, like I said, 12 egg yolks. So that is a ton, again, of eggs to go through for just one single dish. Number 4 on the list, and this one kind of seems like a no-brainer, but I really wanted to include it anyway, is hard-boiled eggs. Now, this may seem really simple, but they're such a versatile thing to make. You can slice them up and put them on a green salad. You can use them for making potato salad or egg salad, which we'll talk about in a little bit as another item, as an idea. Or you can make deviled eggs, which I love. You can also just cut them in half and put a little salt and pepper on them and just eat them as a snack. They are so good and versatile. And I have a video all about how to make super easy peeled hard-boiled eggs by steaming them, which is the only way I make hard-boiled eggs anymore. So that is going to use up really as many eggs as you want for whatever recipe you're making, or however many eggs you just want to snack on. Number 5, which I hinted at before, is egg salad. Love a good egg salad sandwich, especially in the summer and in the springtime. It's just, I feel like one of the perfect kind of picnic sandwiches or little snacky sandwiches. The recipe I have over on the blog is completely from scratch. You can make your own mayo, and so if you make your own mayo and make the egg salad, that will use up 7 eggs total. Number 6, now this one is also one that kind of seems like a no-brainer, but I feel like people forget about them, is just omelets. Omelets are so good. They are so simple. I, again, have a video all about how to make omelets, especially in a cast iron pan. I know it can be a little bit tricky. And so if you were making omelets for a family of 5, you're going to use up anywhere between 2 and 3 eggs per person. So, I mean, if you've got like teenagers and adults, I mean, you could potentially go through 15 eggs for that. I figure more so, I prefer more like a 2-egg omelet. So younger kids and things like that might just want a 2-egg omelet. But if you got some growing teenagers or a husband who can tuck away quite a bit, then a 3-egg omelet might be the way you want to go. So you can also make your omelets whatever you want. You can have kind of Southwest style ones. I've had really good wild rice omelets. There's all sorts of stuff you can put in there. Number 7, I just shared a video about this not too long ago. You can make poached eggs to have eggs benedict. I will eat eggs benedict. I will eat some right now. It is like 9:30 at night when I'm recording this video. If you came in here with a plate of eggs benedict, I would polish it off, no problem. It is so delicious. Poached eggs are not that hard to make, but they are just creamy and wonderful. So you can just make straight up poached eggs and have them on toast, or if you have English muffins, a little bit of ham and some hollandaise sauce. Again, not that hard to make. Check the description box below. You can make eggs benedict. And most of the time when you have eggs benedict, it's a muffin cut in half, each with an egg on there. So per person, you're gonna go through roughly 2 eggs when you make eggs benedict. Number 8 is egg noodles. Now this one's kind of a more unique option here because you can make the noodles fresh and put them in soup or eat them in a fresh pasta or something. They're so good. They're probably gonna be the best noodles you've ever had in your life, making pasta from scratch. Or you can also dehydrate them, hang them, let them dry, and save them for later. Now this one, it only uses 2 eggs per batch, and I'd say 1 batch is plenty to make like a dinner for someone. So this one you kind of have to be planning on making a lot more than just the 1 batch, because it's surprising that it takes so little eggs to make actual egg noodles. Number 9 on the list is a Dutch baby pancake. I've also seen this called a German pancake, depending on maybe where your ancestors are from or where you first ate it. It's similar either way. This is kind of a light, fluffy pancake that you make in either a 13 by 9 or an 8 by 8 or 9 by 9 pan. It really depends on how big you want it. The recipe I share on the blog is for a 13 by 9, and then it only uses 4 eggs for the 13 by 9. However, when I first started making this pancake, it's when I was apprenticing on an organic vegetable farm. And so it was the 2 parents, 3 kids, and me. And I would make one in a 13 by 9 pan, and it was never enough. So that was 3 adults. They weren't even teenagers yet then, the kids. So then it was like a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old, and like should have been like an 11-year-old. So for that group, a 13 by 9 was not enough. We easily could have polished off 2 13 by 9. So I would say if you have a decent amount of people that are eating this, you want to make 2 13 by 9 pans. Again, recipe linked below. And if you do that, then you're going to use up 8 eggs for that recipe. The last recipe I want to share and suggest is actually not one of mine. It's one my cousin Autumn actually sent me because I was complaining, which is a horrible thing. I was like, I've got so many eggs, and I'm just like chucking dozens at cars that drive by, like, take some eggs, you know, because I've got so many. And she said, oh, I've got a perfect recipe for you. It's delicious. It is a recipe for loaded taco casserole. Now there are a ton of recipes I found when I was trying to figure out where she got the recipe from. I think I found the right site that it came from originally. I will link them below. This is delicious, again, for lunches or for breakfasts, and it uses an astonishing 16 eggs for a 13 by 9 pan. So man, you are really gonna be sucking up some of those eggs in this recipe. It's also really good, all from scratch. Not one of mine. I wish I'd come up with it, but definitely one you wanna check out. All right, so I said I would tell you how to use up 3 dozen eggs for a single day. So kind of the plan that I had for using that many eggs would be to start with breakfast. If you're gonna, again, figuring roughly a family of 5, making a double batch of the Dutch baby pancakes, that is going to use up 8 eggs for that. So that's your breakfast. Lunch, I would say you could do egg salad sandwiches. So that is going to use up 7 eggs to make that. And again, you may need more if people are eating more, but that'll use at least 7 eggs. Then for dinner, I would say either do omelets, and you could do kind of like an omelet bar. People could pick whatever they want to have in the omelets. And so there you could use anywhere, well, around probably like 8 eggs roughly, I would guess, for about a family of 5 to make some omelets. Or if you do that taco casserole, then you're gonna be using 16 eggs, which is even more. And then for dessert, make a flourless chocolate cake. So if you total up all those eggs, not even doing the taco casserole, so if you do the Dutch baby pancake, you do the egg salad for lunch, and then you do omelets for dinner, and you make the flourless chocolate cake, right there, that totals to 36 eggs. 3 dozen eggs wiped out one day. If you have some favorite recipes for using up lots of extra eggs, please share them in the comments. We are drowning in eggs this time of year, a lot of people, and it is so helpful to come up with other ways of using eggs. I've definitely heard of water glassing eggs. It's something I want to try this year. Haven't done it before, so if you have any hot tips for that too, make sure you share in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you here next week for more farming, family food, and fortitude here at Rough and Tumble Farmhouse.